You know, I think the root of the cause of the problems of depression, of people being angry, people not being happy, suicide, when I really think about it, it's because people are not being themselves. So I want to say to you, be yourself. Hi, I'm Demetri and welcome to Don't Give Up. Today is a very, very special Don't Give Up. I have a friend from North Carolina, US of A, and I believe he has a very unique way of seeing the world and such situations, especially on this episode entitled Be Yourself. So, Aiden, welcome to the show. I just want to ask you a question. We were talking before, and I asked you, what did you think the biggest problem in the world was? And you said, basically, people not being themselves. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Will you please tell them what you mean by that?
Well, I just think that, I don't know, in order to succeed or anything, you really need to be yourself. And I think the biggest reason that people aren't themselves is because they're afraid of what other people will think of them and afraid of what they'll judge. That's definitely true with me. I assume it's true with most people. And I've just realized, at least with me, for the most part, it shouldn't matter what other people think. And if someone doesn't like who you are, if you're truly being yourself, then it shouldn't matter. If they don't like you, then it's good to know that, because you didn't waste any time, and that way you know that at least at this point in your life, you don't necessarily want to be friends with that person, and that works. And later in life, you could become friends again. But at this point, I just feel it works better to just be yourself in every situation, and that way you get to know the true person, and the relationship is much more real then, and there are no artificial aspects to it.
I mean, I have a question. I mean, we tell them to be yourself. So let's say that I have been going after my friends, trying to be like my friends, trying to be like that big-breasted woman on MTV. How do I become myself? I mean, what do you think it is? If I decided, okay, today, or if someone decides today I'm going to be myself, what exactly does that mean? Like, how do I do that?
I think one of the biggest things is just to do what makes you feel comfortable, and don't think of what your friends think is cool or what society says is cool. Try to think about what makes you feel comfortable, and in each situation, what just feels best to you. And if it feels best to you, then I think other people will naturally be drawn to you, and those are the people that you want in your life anyway.
Yeah, and it's a hard thing to do, because when you really become yourself, you may lose friends, and people may think you're a little strange, but the thing is that, as he said, if you lose these people, I think that you're really kind of gaining yourself. You know, you may lose these people but then in the bigger picture, you're gaining who you are. And I deal with so many people who talk to me about depression and talk to me about suicide. I've been to funerals of suicide. One of my best friends killed himself. Actually, a few friends that killed themselves. And what is it all for? It's like pretending to be someone else is just paying this price that is just too much for you to bear. And if you give them the example about your friend that's a model, I think that was pretty good.
Well, I was just saying that a lot of people look in magazines and look on TV and things, and that's what they strive to be. But the truth is they pick the most beautiful people, and the pictures and the things that they show are altered. So even the most beautiful people on this earth still aren't the ones that you see in magazines. So there is literally no way to attain the look that is in magazines. So you should just come back to yourself and be proud of yourself. And I think it's really important in relationships that in order to love other people, you really need to love yourself. And as far as feeling lonely if you lose a friend because you're really trying to be who you want to be, you can't really, I feel you
can't really be alone if you really love the person you're alone with.
And I think that's one thing that I've been trying to figure out myself. And if you really love who you are, then loneliness doesn't really come into play as frequently.
I've never heard that point before, but I think it's absolutely awesome. Wait. So I want to ask you a question. And guys, I want you to know that he did not know I was going to ask this question, so this is really a huge surprise, and I'm kind of curious to see how he's going to answer it. So the question is this: if this was your last day living, and you knew this was your last hour living, and you wanted to tell the world something, and you could do it right now,
Wow.
on this screen, on this little camera here that we have in this little studio, what is it that you would want to tell the world?
Oh, that's wow. Okay.
You take your time to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would. I'd have to say that what we've touched on before is just really love who you are and just really, just really care about yourself and have the confidence in yourself that in each moment to do what you really feel like you need to do and to have no regrets. Because I think regrets are that's the worst thing for me. If going home and knowing that you didn't try something, I think is far worse than being shot down or having someone judge you for something. If you just try your best to become confident in who you are in every situation so that you eliminate regrets in your life. And I think that'll make every situation more positive, you'll learn more from each situation, and you'll know that you've gotten everything out of each possible moment that you can if you try your best in everything you do and just don't regret anything you try.
Another thing is I'm thinking, when you can tell that I'm pretty much myself, there's no one like me in the world. But the thing is that there are a lot of things that I had to stop and a lot of things I had to change. For example, when I was selling drugs and building relationships based on sex and things like this, that wasn't really who I was in my heart, I think if people were to see me, they would say, this is who Demetri was. He's a sexual drug dealer, he's all this and he's all that. But in my heart, I knew that's not who I was. So I had to make different, really hard choices to really stand and really stop these things that did not reflect the real me inside. And sometimes it's not easy. But the end result is great, and you'll feel great, and you'll feel comfortable and confident in the you who you always have been. That inside coming out and kind of going all over, Okay. Aiden, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And guys, know that as long as you're really you, as he said, you can never fail. The Bible says that love never fails. And what that means is that if there's a true love, it's impossible. It's impossible that you can fail. So I want you to look in the mirror and smile and be happy about what you see and the future that you can see about yourself. I love you, I love you, I love you, and that love will only become stronger. Until next time.